Hey guys, here we are, day 6. I'm very proud of you for sticking with it this long and hanging in there. And we're just gonna keep learning together, keep drawing together. One of the most important things is that we just show up every day and put pencil or pen to paper. And if you just do that, you'll get better. And not only will you get better, you'll have fun doing it. It'll be a healthy thing for you to do. So today, something to draw with, something to draw on, and you're going to, a little later, I'll give you more details. You're going to want to find some uh, more objects to draw, but I'll get the details later. Okay, so here we have the drawing that you saw me draw in the time lapse yesterday, and it was a book standing up on a table in front of me. And uh, I want to talk a little bit about angles in your drawing. Remember, just three things that can really help you draw more accurately: the relationships of size and distance between objects, and the second one would be angles, and the last one is shapes. And today we're going to talk a little bit about angles and about shapes. But angles are really important in a drawing, and they're not only important for to get an object to look right, but they're also important to get things with that first thing, with location and space and distance. You can use angles to find where things are related to each other too. But you're just going to have to learn to match angles. And it's actually not that hard. I think we think it's hard and we don't know how to do it. So it becomes something we struggle with. But in reality, angles are really not that hard to do. So what you have to learn to do is just match the angles in what you see versus what you're drawing. And one easy way that I've learned to do this, or that I do this, is I hold something straight up in the real life thing, and then I hold it up in my drawing, or I compare that to my drawing. So if I have, for instance, um, I want to draw, this grayscale set here, laying on a table, and I see it's at this angle, and I want to draw that angle here. And you know what? Maybe I'll just do this. I'll come back to this in a minute. But if I want to draw this here, one challenging thing is to find the angle. But one way I found that really works, I mean, I'm pretty close here, so it's pretty easy. But you can just literally take something like your pencil and bring it. It's kind of windy here. Waves are crashing right by me, and it's 9:30 at night where I'm at, so I'm out here drawing. But you can literally just match that angle straight straight across, and that's pretty much what you have to do, is find, and hopefully you can see, as you, if you're paying attention to it. I think that's the number one thing, is you just got to pay attention to it. If you're paying attention to it, it's pretty easy to see if you're off. Meaning, if I go like this here, can you see the difference here in the video between that and, it's this is that line, and look at this line here. They eventually, these two would hit, these two angles, if you kept going. But this one here, I bumped it a little bit, sorry, um should kind of line up. You want it to be the same, and then you're going to have, so in this one it was really important. I had angle here, I had an angle here, which I actually messed up a little bit, and fixed it because I checked it later, and it was coming in like this, which wasn't accurate at all. It actually comes out like this. And then you got this angle, and you know what, I really had to use this angle because when I first was looking at this book, this top line right here, it almost looked like it was straight across. But I held up my pencil, and I could see that it was down a little bit on this side versus just slightly. in the real picture. So I had to reproduce that angle there. Then we got this angle here on the back of the spine. Then we have this angle here, and we have this angle here. And I just found when I've worked with people in drawing that just the simple effort of paying attention to the angles and trying to mimic them and to reproduce those same angles on your page, it's enough to do it. And so it's enough to get it. I think people, they try to draw a book on a table, and once again, what are you're thinking? It's a book, so it's gotta look like this or something, like I gotta draw a book laying open. But I mean, most things in real life, like we talked about earlier, they they don't really look like we think they look. And uh, this book also is one of those things. So I would like you to take your drawing first of all from yesterday with your square object. Maybe it was a house, maybe it was a box of cereal, maybe it was a phone, and I would like you to check your angles with a pencil or something long and skinny, and just see if they line up with what you originally drew, if they're close to it, or if you find any discrepancies, a difference between the what you were drawing and your drawing. If you see a big difference, maybe make some notes about that, and maybe take a pencil and kind of fix that angle and see if you can get a better, a closer representation of it. But that what I really want you to do is just check it and to see if you can identify how you did on your angles. I think paying attention to them alone will be a huge help in this thing. Once you do that, I want you to find some random objects, three more random objects, and I want you to draw them. But at least one of the objects, preferably two, but at least one of the objects has to have an irregular shape. An irregular shape, meaning, uh, a piece of fruit, or it can't be a sphere, a cylinder, a square, a rectangle. It has to have an irregular shape that's got some different angles. Because remember, tomorrow we're going to work on shapes, seeing shapes, and uh, I want you to have some things with kind of a complex shape to them. It doesn't have to be natural; it can be man-made, but it has to be irregular. Um, Shaped. I suppose it could be a pair of glasses or something. Um, just use your imagination or your creativity and find something that looks interesting to draw. Three things, and draw them for tomorrow. And we're going to continue this conversation of making the things that make our drawings look more accurate. All right. Sound good? I'll see you right back here tomorrow and we will work on that. Okay, I just want to say one more thing before I give you your encouragement and your direction for the day. And that is this. I would love to hear any feedback you guys have from what I've done with this so far. I have never done a video series like this before, admittedly. I've taught people what I know about drawing more informally here and there in different ways, but I've never done a video series like this. What do you like? What don't you like? I'd love to hear what's working and what isn't. What's distracting? What's not helpful? I really would love to hear your feedback, and I would love to hear any suggestions that you have. You're more than welcome to tell me what's working too. Some encouragement in this, but yeah, just looking to help you guys as best I can. And I can do that probably better if you help me help you. So, all right, encouragement and direction for today. Here's your encouragement for today. All this stuff we're learning right now, it feels pretty technical, and it's kind of like, talking about measurements and angles and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, I thought art was supposed to be inspired and free flowing and not get caught in all this technical, get more mind stuff. I thought drawing was from the heart and not from the mind. Well, yes and no, it's both. But I do want to give you this encouragement. We're building on this stuff. We're kind of building an understanding and foundation so that we can do that other stuff. So you can sit and draw a palm tree on the beach, or a couple standing in the sunset holding hands or something, and have it flow from the heart because you've learned these things. Some of these things we're going over right now are more or less are second nature for me because I've been doing them for a long time. That's what I'm trying to get for you guys, is learn them, uh, integrate them, internalize them, and practice them, and they will become uh, they will be able to flow. I think maybe because I don't play instruments, I don't know this, but I think maybe it's a little like jazz, where you spend a lot of time learning an instrument and learning the ways to do it to the point where you get good enough that you can just let it flow. You don't have to have written music or think about what note needs to come next or should or shouldn't, but it just flows. So I hope that's where we're trying to head. So if you want to draw a beautiful bird perched on a tree on a snowy branch, you can do that, and you can see the angles and the relationships and you know, these things we're talking about, uh, to get what you want to get. This beautiful little drawing of a bird on a branch, and so you don't get hung up and frustrated because things don't look right and you don't know why. That's what we're trying to get to. That was a long kind of explanation for encouragement. And then your direction is basically what you're going to be doing is drawing another drawing today. But I want you, this is your direction, to look and really see what you're seeing. Really see what you're seeing, not what you think you see. That's your direction for today. It's going to always be your direction in somewhat, but specifically pay attention to it today. Look and see what you're drawing as you're drawing it. I'm so glad you guys joined me again today. I absolutely love doing this with you. I see your comments, and I feel very much like we're doing this together. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.